Better or worse?
Better.
Lying or honest?
Honest.
Howdy folks. Now, today we are going to put two big fucking can't think of what I was trying to say lenses. Hi, how are you? Okay, one more time.
Yes.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us for a good old-fashioned lens comparison. Now, I've got in the 50mm f1.2 Z lens, that one I own, and the new 85 1.2, which is much newer. Now, I'm not going to go through all the specs. What I can say is that they're both big and heavy and expensive. The 85 is actually shorter but fatter. In some ways it actually balances better on cameras because the 50 is just so long and there's a lot of weight up the front. The main technical difference between the two, other than the 85 being about another $800 more expensive, the 50 has the little LCD, the 85 omits it. 50 is 9 rounded aperture blades, the 85 is 11. So we're going to shoot with this on both the Z7 II and the Z8 with Elia, indoors and out. And I'm not talking about anything other than image quality, and I'm going to give you a bunch of sample files that you can download and check out for yourself. Link for those will be below, along with Elia's social media. Let's do it. In terms of focusing out here in the bright light, both of them are doing absolutely perfectly on both of the camera bodies, to be fair. Now, the image quality coming off these lenses, I think, is up there with the very best that the Nikon Z range has to offer, and that's saying something because it's by far the best range of lenses that Nikon have ever made. However, you can't see the full details here on YouTube, so make sure you download the sample files. There's a link below. The files are hosted over at my learn.artnudeportraiture site, and whilst you're there, our approach for today's shoot was essentially wandering around my favorite suburb in Hong Kong, Sheung-Wan, with Elia and I keeping an eye out for shots that we thought would look good at either 50 or 85mm, and then shooting it on each of the lenses so we had sample files to check out afterwards. First impressions, they're both big and heavy, but if you accept that and adjust to it, I really didn't find much of a difference between the two. Whilst yes, the 85 is a little heavier, practically when you're out there shooting, I really didn't notice a difference. On the Z8, they balanced just great. On the Z7, yeah, the grip could use being a little bigger. Now, I'm not sure how it comes across in video, but it was so hot whilst we were shooting. This was just before the peak of summer, but still a really hot and humid day. As we went around, we were trying to find nice diffuse light that would be nice for portraits, but also gave us a little bit of respite from the Hong Kong heat. So there's something that I do find even with the Z8, occasionally it will just think a knee is the eye or something like that, and it even shows the left or right toggle to go to the other eye. It's just lost somehow. Something I've found really commonly with the Z9 and now the Z8, when you're shooting action, it seems like the eye is trailing behind, but actually it's nailing the shots. but when it thinks that the eye is the foot or the ankle or the knee, if it's focusing there, you will actually have it focus there, not on one of the eyes. So be aware of that. I often find that if that does happen, and it happens like twice a shoot maybe, that hitting the OK button, the center button, to bring up a different focus point to like initiate tracking works, or switching to 3D tracking. But otherwise, just getting it on the eye, then it will stay there. Having said that, if you have your Nikon Z camera set up properly, there's really very few situations where you shouldn't be able to get the shot you're aiming for. Check out my expert setup guide. It covers every single camera in the system, not just the flagship ones, all the APS-C cameras as well. Shows you how to initially set them up out of the box, how to customize them, and get the most from them for your own particular style of shooting. Next up, let's head back to the hotel for some boudoir style portraits. Turn your chest towards that corner, yeah. Punchy kicky.
Yeah.
Now, some of these images may seem familiar because we shot 2 videos that day and the other one has already gone live. Alright, so Ellie's just gone to change. I've been shooting the 50 and 85 on the 2 different bodies because we're also comparing these bodies at the moment. And I have to say, I don't really see any difference in terms of focusing, that kind of thing. When you're using them on the Z8, it's that much snappier. On the Z7, it's slightly slower, but totally usable for portraits. I wouldn't say that there's any real difference between these. For this kind of small movement or almost static portraits, both doing perfectly fine. So look, as I said at the beginning, I really want to focus on image quality here. I've mentioned a little bit about handling. I think it's just fair to assume if you're considering a $2,500, $3,000 lens, you know if an 85 or a 50 is going to suit you better. For everyday shooting, I prefer a 50. For portraits, I'd prefer an 85 or even a 105. Usability, not a big difference between them. The image quality, I think they're both spectacular. But doing these kind of videos, which I did based on viewer requests, ends up being dangerous for me. When I first tested the 51.2 when it was first out, I did several videos where it just didn't wow me. And that was my honest findings. I made the videos, and then the more I shot with it, the more I came to like it and could appreciate the differences between it and the 1.8, and then I bought this. The first 2 or 3 times I shot with the 85, exact same story. I wasn't that wowed by it, but shooting with it more and more in the last couple of shoots, I'm actually really tempted to pick one up myself. So download the sample files, check them out for yourself, leave me a comment. Was there any big difference between the two? Which one suits your needs? If you're in the Z system, check out the Nikon Z setup guide, as well as the Shibaro 101 course, and check out Elia's Instagram page. All of that is linked below. Leave me any questions, and I'll see you soon.